In today's episode, I talk about my vulnerability, things that I need to tackle, and maybe you can get some benefit from too.
This is how legends are made.
Hi there, my name is Ben Jackson, and I hope you're doing amazing wherever you are. Today I wanted to give you an episode that's kind of quite personal to me, because I think there's something I'm going to share which I think maybe relates to you, or something might be benefit to you in some form, so I thought I'd just share my story. I noticed something today. What I noticed was that today is probably more or less about 20 years since I gave up smoking. And I was reflecting on that, and then reflecting on how that I'm actually still dry since January. I haven't actually had any alcohol since the beginning of January now, so coming up to around 3 months. And I was reflecting on these 2 points. The interesting thing about smoking for me was when I decided to go ahead and say, that's it, I'm quitting, it was very clear cut. There was complete clarity in my head that that was it. There was no obstacle, no craving, no cold turkey kicking in, no occasion. It was just actually the decision had been assimilated, that it was seamless, and the decision was complete and done. It was integrated, and just that was now the way things would always be. Similar to not having alcohol is that seamlessness is there still. The accepted that, integrated it, and it's kind of with complete clarity that I don't see myself needing alcohol. When I've got it at such a kind of a tuning fork level where it's simply, yes, that's just complete clarity, there's no obstacle, I integrate it, and the change is immediate, in effect straight away. It's a done deal, if you like. And I make the comparison between the quit smoking and the kind of the quitting the alcohol in the same way, because the vulnerability, the approach to being a survivor of shame is just like a tuning fork inside me. It's something that's so clear now that it's going to be integrated. I'm not going to be the same person ever again, because now this has become part of who I am. And what I find interesting is that the question about shame and vulnerability has been growing through my work in the last 18 months to 2 years. In fact, I think I've been gradually increasing that exposure more and more. If you go back, say, a couple of years when I was first doing some videos, I had to get them exactly right in a particular way. I had a lot more clarity about certain things. And now, if I've got a thought in my head, I'll just kind of quickly do a video or do an episode and make it happen. I am more open to being judged on how I look, what I say, and how I kind of put it all together. And that's a real journey for me. That's kind of a point of just getting through that. So it's been growing in this kind of opening myself to effectively being judged and being vulnerable. And as a bit of backstory to that, there are reasons why there haven't been as many episodes coming out in the last 10 days or so. There have been a number of big things going on to do with work and to do with cars and to do with kids, which have really just been a priority for me. So that's been taking up my time. But a larger emotional chunk has been about personal development, which has kind of come about how my relationship with my partner has had a bit of a rocky few weeks, to say the least. And vulnerability and being afraid and dealing with shame has been a central part of causing that problem. And very much what was the cause of it was to do with myself and my shame. And it was shame that kept me from sharing, shame for the feeling that I would be rejected, and shame from embarrassment for what the situation was and what the history was that I had failed to share with her. And while it may be easy in hindsight to say, well, you should have said something earlier, what can happen with shame is it's a fantastic one to really kind of get you to dig a deeper hole rather than try and share it. It says, let's dig deeper, let's protect it further, let's kind of embellish further. And that's what I was doing until it came to a head when the shame had to come out and I had to be open and vulnerable. And as this situation is unfolding kind of in the now, I still think there's something I can give you which would be kind of useful when we're discussing or when you're thinking about vulnerability. One of the things I've learned so far is about noticing when we are kind of controlling information. This was a big key to what had caused a problem in my relationship, was controlling information. Now, we can do this in kind of minor ways or major ways, but have a chance to notice what you may be controlling, so you are controlling the response of the other person. This could be somebody not saying that you don't like how they make a cup of tea and you're kind of protecting yourself from their response. But maybe in that simple example, we can just notice that we are holding back because we don't want to get rejected or any kind of like negative feedback from that person. Have a notice of when you're doing things like that. When are we holding back information for fear of being hurt by it? And maybe there's a few opportunities for you to actually express yourself compassionately and honestly about how you are feeling. Maybe pre-frame it by saying, I need to share something with you which is really important and I need to listen, and then explain what's bothering you. And I'm by no means saying that everything's fine and we're through the situation. We're not. It's still very uncertain. Things could go either way. But within this time frame, as I'm working through it and she's working through her questions, I wanted to put something out there which I think you might kind of get some benefit from. So just notice when you are holding information, when you're keeping things back from fear of being hurt, that you're kind of, or maybe even shamed about, like I was. Find opportunities to notice when you can actually explore that vulnerability. Even just do it internally and just question yourself. Maybe over time that'll create enough motivation and energy for you to actually say something or announce something, whatever it may be. I'll update you as best I can as I go through this journey and give you some more feedback, more things that I've learned through it. But for now, I think the main thing is just to notice when maybe we are controlling information, when in fact we are holding on to stuff that actually we could share. I know that I'm not always going to get this right. I know I'm going to make mistakes as I kind of go through the journey of learning. But what I was sharing at the beginning is clear still at the end of this particular episode. It's the clarity of my intention, my determination to say this is a done deal. I will be bringing this in. As I explore it and learn it, this is where I'm going to have successes and where I'll need to improve. But the intention is clear, and that's the most powerful thing. So I hope you've enjoyed a little bit of insight into my world. I hope you can get some value from that as well. I think there's something we can all learn as we discuss ideas about shame and vulnerability. But other than that, I will leave you to the rest of your day, and I will catch you on the next episode.
This is how legends are made.